So this lender may not even know that. What can kill a clearinghouse? What can kill a clearinghouse, if you're thinking about this, is that people withdraw their gold. And they say, I need that gold and I can't participate anymore. Now, why would they do that? Why would they do that? We make a distinction here between an internal drain and an external drain. We're going to develop these things throughout the course. Okay? If the internal drain comes from the fact that somewhere inside the country somebody wants cash and you have to pay them cash, okay? The clearinghouse can sort of sort that out with these sorts of mechanisms here. But if there's an external drain, okay, that is the Bank of England, okay, or some foreigner that wants the money that is a higher level than this, okay, that can kill your clearinghouse. That can kill your clearinghouse. And it has killed clearinghouses in the past. Similarly for central banks. That if there's an external drain, okay, and your people are coming to you, foreign central banks are coming to you with Federal Reserve notes and asking gold for them, you can run out of gold, okay? Because you don't have gold covering all of this thing. You could run out of gold. And when you run out of gold, what do? Okay? You suspend payments. That's the word, suspend payments. Meaning, I'm not going to pay you gold anymore. I know these were promises to pay gold. I changed my mind. It's not true, okay? I will pay you gold some time later, okay, in the future. I promise I'm really going to do this, but I can't really tell you exactly when, okay? At the moment, I'm suspending payment. I'm not going to make good on my promise to pay these things in gold. That's like, that's suspending the exchange rate fixed with gold, okay? This idea that you're going to maintain par, the mint par with gold. And all central banks do this from time to time, okay? The Bank of England did this periodically. When there's a crisis, you can handle it. If it's an internal crisis, you can sort of handle it by expanding your balance sheet, okay? But if your whole country is losing reserves, the only way to get elasticity is to eliminate the constraint, is to eliminate the discipline by going off gold, okay? And unless you can get all the other central banks to agree to act as a clearinghouse and mutually expand, all of us together. All of us together. You see that? One layer higher. It's not just the United States, it's everyone. And I mention this because that is what is happening in the world today. Okay. Have you noticed what's happening? Draghi says, we are going to do QE. Bernanke says, we're going to do QE. Okay. The Bank of England has already been doing this. Switzerland has already been doing this. Bank of Japan yesterday in the FT was talking about this. There are only 5 central banks that matter, okay, and those are the 5. And they're all, I don't know whether they met in a room like the New York bankers and agreed to this, but they're acting in concert. Whether they are doing this on purpose in a formal agreement or not, okay, they're all expanding at the same time. So there's not going to be any external drain. There is no external. The Martians are not yet doing business with us, okay? Once these 5 central banks are in cahoots about this and are expanding, that's the whole world monetary system is expanding. And that's what's going on right now. This is pretty incredible. I don't know what they're worried about, but they must be worried about something. That this is a pretty big move to coordinate that kind of action. They're acting just so you see one layer up. This is the point. One layer up is the world as a whole, okay? And they're operating jointly to expand their balance sheet. They're doing what the IMF basically can't do, right? The IMF has to get all of its members to agree in order to expand the outstanding SDRs, okay? and you never can get that because the US will never say yes or something like that. But the central banks, the C5, okay, they can do this by themselves, privately, as a private arrangement, leaving the whole rest of the world out of this plan, just like the New York City bankers. Okay? So expect there to be complaints about this, okay, in the rest of the world, that somehow the big central banks, okay, the central banks, are taking care of each other, okay, and not us. Okay, there's going to be complaints about that. So watch the FT pages. That's where they'll be.